So about 110 years ago, if you would ask the world for a better mode of transportation, you would have simply asked for a faster, cheaper horse and carriage, not even knowing that an automobile was a possibility. So today, I want to talk about the new trends in the industry. How do we reach the next billion or 2 billion smartphone users, and what's that going to mean for you and me? So today we're having fun geeking out and talking about how Android can reach the next billion to 2 billion users, and we're also periscoping live. The bottom line is the market still needs to grow. According to the latest BI intelligence report, 1.3 billion smartphones were shipped in 2014, a growth rate of 29% over 2013. Growth in 2013 was around 45%. So although the rate of growth may be slowing, the firm is still predicting strong increase in the number of shipments year after year. By 2020, BI intelligence suggests that 3.4 billion smartphones will have been shipped. Now, I think it's safe to say that emerging markets will lead this charge. Leading the growth in smartphones is a surge in upgrades in developed markets and the accelerated shift from feature phones to smartphones. This can be observed in the booming Indian smartphone market, which has attracted a number of manufacturers looking to expand out from the equally competitive Chinese market. Using this as a guide, from the next 1 billion smartphones, approximately 240 million will come from China, 170 million from India, and around 30 to 50 million each from a selection of growing economies, including Indonesia, Brazil, and the Philippines. Even the US is expected to contribute around 70 million new units, but most other developed mobile regions are expected to contribute only about 10 million new units each year. So what many people aren't talking about is new business models and how that's going to affect the smartphone industry. So for example, Huawei is trying to soon sell you their phones directly from an e-commerce store that they're going to create for Western buyers. So instead of going through your carrier into a 2 or 3 year contract, you would just buy the phone off contract directly from them, which, my friends, is the way to go. I've done like 2 shows on that topic entirely, and you don't want to be getting into a contract if you can absolutely avoid it. I know it's more expensive up front to buy a phone off contract for $400, $500, $600, but do it because you're going to be saving quite a bit of money in the long run. That's really important. Now imagine for a moment, as smartphones get cheaper and cheaper to produce, it becomes more viable for manufacturers to sell us their devices directly on their websites. Now, if you think that's not possible, remember how excited people got over the Nexus 5. Crazy. I mean, for $300 you got a fantastic phone. For 50 more bucks, you got an even better phone. It's inevitable. It's going to happen. Xiaomi's trying to do it, and I think more manufacturers are going to do that. And that means that more people can buy a better phone, not having to go through a carrier. With the move to new markets comes a new set of consumer expectations and purchasing habits. Features such as dual SIM capability and value for money are a little different from what we're used to seeing in Western markets. Price has been a major point of contest in these growing markets, which has seen the increasing use of e-commerce to help manage stock levels and keep prices under control. In India, Chinese brands have been undercutting established brands, and this has been chipping away at their market share. Imagine being a fly on the wall when I tried to explain to my mother that this YouTube channel reaches more viewers than her favorite television show. Yeah, we get 12, 15 million viewers per month, which dwarfs most cable channels. Yeah, imagine trying to explain that to someone 15 years ago. They would not have gotten that. My point is that maybe the next billion, 2 billion users of smartphones won't need smartphones. Maybe it'll be something totally different that we did not expect, like we did not expect most of the consequences that the internet brought to us. So, if access to the information that we want is locked between these tiny screens of a phone, a tablet, or a desktop computer, that's really limiting. I've talked about this before, I may be boring some of you, but this is a tiny little window. What if it were everywhere, on everything, on my walls, windows, your car? I mean, everything has an IP address. Everything has an operating system that is intuitive and easy to access. So I don't need to be locked and chained to a phone when it's everywhere on everything. Now, that could be 5 years away, that could be 20 years away, I don't know. But I'm suggesting that maybe this is totally different from what we expect. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. So I used to have a website called howtobecome.tv, and inevitably I lost people who were going to howtobecome.com because they assumed if it's a website, it must be a .com. Why? Because no domain name extension tells your story with the same level of trust as a .com or .net domain name. .com and .net domain name extensions inject credibility into your online presence, and who doesn't want more credibility? You can save 15% on domain name and web hostings when you use our coupon code Android at domain.com checkout. Don't forget, 15% off when you use our coupon code Android. When you think domain names, think domain.com. Thanks for watching Android Army. My name is Jayce, and I also want to thank my fellow Periscopers. Thanks for watching live and giving me input and dialoguing back and forth. It was a real experience. I'll probably try it again and let you guys know an hour or two before I'm about to shoot when I'm about to broadcast live. Thanks a lot for those of you who joined me. You don't want to forget about my brothers in Android who are always working super hard to be your source for all things Android.